That's real. Are my babies safe? And you've created it for what? My legal name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But Sussex, for us, works as our family name, and it's a name that we share with our children. No, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name.
Meghan Markle is honestly sinking to a whole new low with the royals right now because King Charles is reportedly adjusting the line of succession in a way that basically pushes her kids out. And honestly, after everything that's happened these past few years, it's hard to act surprised. And if you needed another sign that things are falling apart fast, Harry and Meghan just got completely left out of the royal family's huge US tour next year, the one marking America's 250th birthday. Every major royal is flying over, posing for photos, doing the official handshake routine, except the two who actually live in America. At this point, the message could not be clearer. The royals clearly don't see Harry and Meghan as part of what comes next, especially after the interviews, the Netflix shows, the memoir, the headlines, all of it. So let's break down exactly what's happening. You've probably already seen the reports about the royal family preparing for a major US celebration in 2025. Charles and Camilla are booked for April, and William and Kate are expected in July. Basically, every senior royal has a place on the schedule, except Harry and Meghan, which is kind of wild when you remember they're the only ones who actually live in America.
Well, can you blame America for icing them out? Harry and Meghan have spent the last nearly 6 years disrespecting both parties involved here.
People close to the palace keep hinting at the same reason for the cold shoulder. Harry and Meghan spent years publicly going after the monarchy. From the racism claims, to the Netflix releases, to the non-stop press battles and the ongoing fights over security, and the prank call where Harry thought he was chatting with Greta Thunberg, but ended up making comments about a US president, definitely didn't help how he's seen politically. So with the public drama and the private frustration piling up, the palace seems to be sending a very direct message. They don't want Harry and Meghan anywhere near an event this high stakes.
You're right that there was this excitement around them. It almost felt like a lot of hope for the future of the monarchy.
Absolutely.
That's all sort of riding on William and Catherine now, where we look to the future.
Now, Meghan's image in the US hasn't really been helping her either. She's jumped through so many public roles. Actress, duchess, podcast host, lifestyle founder, and somehow the label people held onto online was jamfluencer, which blew up in a way she clearly didn't expect. Then things got even messier with the Harper's Bazaar situation. Sources claimed she had total input over her feature, and instead of feeling like a real profile, people said it came across like a glossy tribute she basically wrote about herself. The lack of real depth only made the criticism around her PR even louder.
Yesterday, Harper's Bazaar dropped their December-January cover featuring none other than Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
On top of everything, she still uses her Duchess of Sussex title on American projects, which a lot of people think is strange considering she stepped away from royal duties a long time ago. And of course, there were those stories about her wanting to be formally introduced whenever she enters a room, even if there are only two people present, which I'm sure most of you have already seen floating around online.
And as the journalist entered the room, Markle had a staff member announce her by her royal title, the Duchess of Sussex.
And all of this spills into the bigger issue with Harry as well. He barely returns to the UK anymore, and whenever he does stop by, Meghan stays back in California. He's openly said he can't imagine bringing his family back unless he gets the level of protection he believes they require.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done.
But here's the part most people don't really know. Behind the scenes, Harry was still hoping there'd be a chance to slowly reconnect Meghan and the kids with his side of the family someday. He wanted them to see where he grew up and to meet the relatives they've never actually spent time with. That hope, though, is fading fast, especially now that the succession rumors are getting stronger and the space between both sides keeps widening. So when you look at everything that's been building, it starts making sense why people think King Charles is tightening the rules in a way that directly affects Harry and Meghan's children. The palace recently announced this new eligibility update, and the whole thing felt strangely specific. They're now saying any child in the line of succession must be raised full-time in the United Kingdom under direct royal oversight. And the moment that came out, everyone instantly realized Archie and Lily don't meet that standard at all. They've lived in California their whole lives, never joined royal traditions, and haven't been brought up inside the usual royal system.
You know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK, of course I do. And I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children my homeland.
Then the palace added another condition, and this one was even harder for people to ignore. They introduced a rule saying only children of active, working royals can stay in the line. Since Harry and Meghan stepped down in 2020, the rule neatly gives Charles a clean excuse to remove their kids. Meghan reportedly sees this as punishment dressed up as policy, especially because plenty of previous royals weren't working members and their children still kept their spots without any issue.
I need to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was.
And then came the part that really blew up online, the talk about a new citizenship and residency rule. Insiders said Charles wants heirs to either have dual UK nationality or spend a real portion of their childhood actually living in Britain. But the most attention-grabbing part is that the palace didn't stop there.
Can you just tell them the truth? Can you say to the world, you're not giving him a title, and we want to keep him safe, and that if he's not a prince, then it's not part of the tradition? Just tell people and then they'll understand.
The palace brought up security. They said anyone in the line of succession has to be under official British protection, which obviously isn't the case for the kids since the family lives in California and handles their own security. But people quickly pointed out that this argument doesn't really hold up. Many royal children in the past lived abroad or traveled non-stop without full-time UK protection, and no one questioned their place. So to a lot of people watching this happen, it seems like another rule that conveniently applies only in this situation. And on top of everything else, there's Charles's long-time plan for a smaller monarchy. He's talked about it for years, but using it as a reason to cut out 2 young children definitely caught people off guard. It didn't feel like simplifying, it felt personal, like the family was making sure one specific branch wouldn't be part of the long-term future. No half-in, half-out setup, no special deal, nothing. He's sticking to the Queen's line that you're either in or you're out, which basically explains why the kids aren't being included in any of the succession discussions either. And this is exactly why the lawsuit rumors started. Meghan has reportedly already contacted lawyers in California and the UK because she believes all these updates are targeted and unfair. She's been told succession is tied to the 1701 Act of Settlement, and if the palace broke anything connected to that, she might have a legal angle. No one truly knows if she can take on the monarchy. That's not exactly a simple battle. But one thing's clear, she's not letting this pass quietly. And if she actually moves forward, it's going to force Harry into a position he's been avoiding for years. Because a lawsuit coming from inside the family doesn't just shake things up. It draws a line in